Hey guys, right here with Mini Minds games. Um, I wanted to show off games in a very specific way with Mini Minds because solo ends up playing very different, as you can see in the other video that I've posted on solo versus Prussia 6. Um, how this is going to be different is I want to do mid-range adversaries to a reasonable extent without like breaking the game because some of these easier difficulties are like kind of ridiculous. So I think for Prussia, at least this is going to be pretty reasonable. And what I mean by the difference of playing many minds, it's going to be like partial solo because Bedevilment is too strong in solo, and if there is an interest, I'll make more videos on Bedevil strats, but I want this guide to be, or I want these videos to be accessible to people who play with more people and can play many minds to a higher level with more people. Um, so one of the restrictions here is going to be Bedevil can only target another spirit. It cannot target myself for the adversaries that I will be facing in solo. The other thing that needs to happen, if that is the case, is I generally rely on them early sometimes, but it probably won't be for Prussia. It will be for other adversaries. And a big part of this is to showcase certain builds. So there are a few builds that I have that are for multiplayer. And what that does is, if there was another board connected to this one, for whatever reason, let's just say it's like up here, I will basically use this as a presence that I'm stealing. Well, not stealing, borrowing from another player to get help in certain cases. And they have a beast. So if they have a beast, that means in multiplayer you will be up a beast based on these certain growth patterns. So because of those restrictions, let me show you how this will work. So please enjoy. Hopefully we can learn something here. Prussia 5, pretty good. Not too finicky compared to Prussia 6 because of the starting one. Gonna be Sands. Actually, really interesting start from Many Minds. Because you start the starting Explorer actually has two. But a big part of Prussia is getting the upper edge. So there are two builds that could be done here. One is you could obviously do this and place adjacent, and then you could play something like EMS and Pursue to push the Explorer out. I don't like that play here because you could just pursue next turn and it's more valuable and stronger because it sets you up for future turns. And this build is not amazing outside of solo. So the following turn would be this, and then you play all three cards. but it's for multiplayer. You want to scale in certain ways that are going to be a little bit more optimal. So what I will showcase is, instead of that, you want perfect positioning, is what I'm going to call it. So G3 is a huge enabler on turn 1 to set up all your positioning for the rest of the game, and it gets you a beast ahead. Because even though you're placing the one beast there, and then you're still generating it from EMS and whatever, EMS being ever multiplying swarm, you get the beast from the extra board. Yeah, you could obviously get them later, but you also spawn one. So you spawn a beast. How this works is you place presence at a 3 range, you spawn a beast in that land as well, you gain an energy, and then you get to gather a beast into a land within 2 range. Because, you know, your innate, or your special rule allows you to gather beasts at range 2. So, generally in multiplayer, I look to take away other beasts from spirits that aren't utilizing them, because I'm obviously going to utilize them much better to more efficiency as many lines. So a pretty high efficiency play is bringing this beast into here. This will set up for a land that we're eventually going to skip because we're not going to be able to deal with it. Most likely, since we're going to want to deal with this. The other good plays were, if you could get into the city, that would be the best option, is always getting it into the land with the city. So, not too big of a deal, but we do get an extra energy start too here. So in case we do end up going bottom turn 3, we will have an energy for our minor card. So what turn 3 looks like is this. And we'll have the extra, we'll get 1 energy per turn, so turn 3 will look like having 3 energy. And we'll be able to spend 2 to get that in multiplayer, if we wanted to go more minors. I do think minors is better for Prussia. So this is going to be our turn 1. Take a look at the event. Grim Toll sucks. Reclaim. Ooh, got rid of Fortune Seekers, which is really, really good. And now we do the double trouble. I mean, pushing that out did not solve anything anyway. And EMS is going to go here, if I ever hit the right key, because of the poor new bindings. So because the instance actually came up, this is, I generally call ahead of time that I may need help from another spirit to be able to place one of their presence in here, or place it adjacent to one of those lands so that I can pull it in with Bedevil. So because we don't have cities here, Bedevil is a great option to be able to deal with the land, because I don't have enough defend. Generally, because of this build, you end up a little bit delayed in getting your defense, but you have enough coverage with another support's help. In addition, they also get defend 1 in all their lands, so that could be very, very useful to them. Letting them know next turn Bedevil's going out, and you could potentially set up that defend 2 in a land. Now, The other choice here is pursue, and that's obviously to just deal with this. So we don't have great positioning really set up for next turn. So what I'm actually going to do is instead do my EMS up here. I'm kind of taking that back a little bit because now that I don't know any new information from my play last turn, really. So I would actually do EMS up here to get the beast count to be able to push all of these out since I can't solve it. And because I've made my sacred sites, and I'm only getting defend 2, I would do that. So this is going to get it had the 2 anyway from building there. And then I'm going to, now that I have more up here, I'm going to do this. And I'm also going to change kind of how my presence placement ended up being. So we get to place our presence at 1 range and at 0 range, and we need the 0 range one to be in here. But I also need to kind of reach these other areas. And since there are 4 beasts in here, 4 is enough to do, you know, shenanigans of being able to push all those out for a fear. Being in here gets me access to other stuff, and I can make these sacred sites at other opportune times. So those are kind of my thoughts there. And I would also, you know, call for someone's aid for the fact that I can't use Bedevil on myself. Now, we have 2 choices for our first innate. Teaming host arrives. Because this is not going to be dealt with next turn, I am going to leave that as is. So that means these guys gotta move. This can handle itself next turn in the worst case, and may even defend itself, and I may have fear cards, so I'm actually going to opt into getting beasts over here, in case there is a beast event or something that clears this out, or I could just place it and defend there next turn. Ooh, that's really bad. So 1 fear per board with disease, but seek new farmland in each land with 2 or more towns. Push a town to a land without a town. And then we take a look at the rest of the event to see where we can push this town. I'm going to get a fear card. I'm only going to deal 1 damage in here, which is pretty unfortunate. Which may end up just being a skip next turn. I'm wondering if I could push it into these areas, but I don't think I want to. So we'll leave it for here. We get a fear card. Each player removes an explorer town from a land with a sacred site. This is super good. I'm still only going to do fear cards as if there were 1 player in the game, because it's going to be the only way to showcase this fairly. And that's actually huge, because now the Sands Ravage, I deal 1 damage, then Sands and Wetlands build. So now we're on the mountains. which I figured would be an issue. I also forgot that I have to defend this, so we'll see what happens. So the multiplayer build isn't bad, but it's also not amazing versus high level Prussia because of the reason of this Invader level 3 card, which has right now 3 lands ravaging. And I can really only deal with 2 with my cards, and I can sacrifice 1. But if you do scale to 3 plays faster, you'll have it for earlier turns, of course. Nothing to really fear. We have a very high odds that the event actually takes care of this, as long as like a beast is in here and my presence is in here, which is gonna be on the guide. It's if I end up pulling it up, it is 1 explorer in a town saves with 2 Dahan and 2 presence. AKA beast is 48%. If I add 1 more beast there, it is 64% chance. Without me even defending it. Not a bad gambit, right? Unfortunately, I'm going to place my presence in here just to get Dahan benefits. Actually, don't really need it, but so let me just make that a beast. I'm going to make this a sacred site as well, because I'm actually going to push out of there with Guide the Way on Feathered Wings, and that's going to bring extra Dahan up there. Let's gain our miner. I forgot the time passes. Boop, boop, gain, pay 2, gain a miner. Twin days, but Scream Disease. Twin days isn't bad if we had Pursue and stuff in play. Getting an extra card doesn't mean I have the fire, it just means I can defend 4. So I'm going to take Twin Days for the future potential and, you know, the player help potential. I'm going to sacrifice a beast here, because there's no way for me to really deal with that. I'm going to move this guy up. With Guide the Feathered Wings. I'm going to get 2 fear from defending that for 2. And it's making me look back and realizing that I have another Guide the Feathered Wings. It's kind of a long shot for anything to really be useful here, so I'm actually going to just save my energy and not play this. What this allows me to just do is, this is already taken care of. I really hope I get a beast event here. But I'm going to pull these guys out and hope that I get the 3 damage here. So the Prussia escalation also is in here. Land without towns. Alright, so let's see what we get. Missionaries arrive. I'm just gonna drop that to pay for it. Add a disease to Lama City. 2 fear. Each beast destroys an explorer. Alright, we are closer to that being defended. There's an explorer lands with 2. Alright. So that's fine. We'll take the blight and clear it. And we'll get that one done, and that's skipped. No magic happening this turn. Mountains build. Explore sands. Pretty good. Oh. No slows here. Really not getting good cards. This has decent elements. So I'm just gonna pick that. Actually, I'm gonna have the blight again here. I'm not too happy about it. I mean, obviously I could take care of this, but I really don't want to. A lot of the time with many mines, you end up having to scale by taking blight, like 1 blight on your board, or getting like unfortunate gambles, or gambits, you could say. So this does give me access to defend 4, which is the reason why I kind of took it, and it's a 0 cost, and it's going to generate fear and push that out, which is pretty nice for me. I am also going to just siphon a beast to bring this in, since I don't want to really overcommit. Oh, and I have to do Prussia. Town to land without one. Oh, we're going back up. So we got the Feather Way. It's going to move 2 and bring the Dahan in. I'm going to actually just take another Spirit. Take my friend to give me an extra defend, so we're going to get 5. And then we have our first innate. Repositioning for next turn, kind of important. We're going to leave 1 beast in here and go 1, 2, 3, because if this does 1 damage, both of these are dead. He then adds a town to a coastal land without a city. Stricken. Oh, cool, we saved the blight. Choose land with towns and Dahans. Push 1 town per 2 Dahan there. Okay, so let's get that guy out. Fear card. Each player may push up to 2 explorers from an inland land. Great. Don't have to deal with that. It's got some good RNG. Bounce Ravage. Sands build. This looking like most likely a fear victory. Coastal lands. Oh, slows. I finally have a slow. Just gonna push this out. So here I'm just gonna gain the extra elements and the energy. And I had the 2 before, so I'm just gonna use that prior to pay for the thing before I do everything. So I can undo that. Oops. So that should be like that. I'm going to get a miner. Yay, and we got a defend card. So it's good because the stage 3s are coming up, and I'm going to need a little bit of a help buffer because this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, so the defense 6 will work there. But I don't think I'm going to win off of defense. So I actually really like portents here. So that's what I'm going to take. I do kind of want a little bit more beasts on the board. And I do get the 1 energy. So I'm actually going to take that. Because I did get a 0 cost. So, fun thing here is I'm just going to grow into this in hopes that I do something there with beasts. Sands are ravaging, so I'm going to... Oh. Let's move on. Sands are ravaging, so I'm going to target this. That's too fear. I've got to get some beasts into here. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to gather 1, 2, 3, 4, push 2 out to here. I'm going to keep myself in here and then push the 3rd out to here, actually. So we're going to do gather 4 and then push 1, 2, 3. Let me do it here. That's even better. In case the beast event comes up, of course. What's really unfortunate is we don't get to pursue because things were not in the right place this turn. So I'm just going to keep stacking these towns up. I'm going to push 1 there. I'm going to do portents, which I believe I already did. No, I don't think I did. I think I did. Because I got the Tier 2 card. I'm not sure if I did. I already put the marker down, so I'm going to believe that I did. I have to get 3 still from the defend. Which is good enough. And I'm not going to skip. No real point. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with this. Years of Little Rain. Oh, we're definitely doing it. Forget that. to Prolif. That's kind of cute. Gets us another Beast. Defend 1 per Dahan, and each beast deals 2 damage. Always like setting up beasts to be able to get some extra fear. Unfortunately, we will lose one guy there. Not sure if it's too big of a deal yet there. This has to go. I'm going to do 2 with my Sacred Site, and then 2 more with that. This guy doesn't matter, so I'm just going to ping those, just to keep more beasts around. So we win next turn. Sands Ravage. Coastal's build. What looks like a Fear game is now a Terror 30 victory. Jungle Wetland. So we're gonna win in the Ravage here. I don't think there's any possible way for it to be skipped. So I'm gonna reclaim here. Get an energy, gain a miner. All great cards. Don't really matter. So we will be gathering. Slight misstep in that I didn't destroy my Sacred Site instead of a beast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good enough though. I'm going to target that with Portents. That does nothing. That does nothing. I'm going to remove. So basically, this is as if this is 1. But I am going to remove a Sacred Site. And I get to choose which invader action I want to skip, but that doesn't really matter. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to defend this for 7. Oh, I forgot the extra 1 from Portents last turn, after I killed Sif. Then we just are going to pursue stuff out. So, like that. Need more invaders than the terror level to Ravage. I'm not going to count my beasts, so I only have to push 3 things. I'm going to bring in 1 less beast. I don't know, this is over here. So I'd have to keep 2 things in there in case an event screws me over. I really need it to Ravage. And get 1 fear from Pursue. Might get removed anyway with all the terror cards. Straight 2 explores among lands with beasts. Oh, that's not good. Stage 3. Choose a land with towns and cities. Add a blight there without cascading. May destroy 2 presence or Dahan in that land to prevent adding. I'm going to destroy 2 presence. In each land with 3 or more, 2 damage, defend 2. Oh, I could kill this guy. Whatever. Fear cards. Gather up to 2 Dahan, and 1 damage per Dahan present. May. Not going to. Dead. Pretty straightforward. I feel like I'm I'm missing it a Han. Oh yeah, it got wrecked here due to bad RNG. But yeah, that's kind of Prussia. I guess I will explain things, I guess, more in the future games, since Prussia's pretty straightforward. GG.